Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spooky Scary Saturdays, where we are going to do something fun and spooky and not quite scary each Saturday in October with me, Miss Jessie, the Youth Services Librarian, here at the Perry County Public Library. How are you today? That's wonderful. Today we are going to make our very own batty gnome. So we're going to need a few things. One, we're going to need some glue sticks and a hot glue gun. And we want to use this with adult supervision because these can get very hot. They can blister you. It's just, we want to be very, very careful. So we're going to need things to make our gnome. One, we're going to need a sock. I'm using black because we're making a bat. I'm also using a little witch hat for the top, which I got this. This comes from, and I've got these are like the little headbands that you can buy around Halloween time. And we're going to need the wings and ears off of a bat headband, but you can also make this out of foam, like the paper foam that you can buy in the craft section. It's very inexpensive. It's easy to make. You can outline whatever wings that you want, but I already have one taken apart. So I have my wings. And my wings are backwards. There we go. My wings, mine are purple and black. I also have the ears, which are purple and black, which matches with my little witch hat, which is going to be my gnome hat. And we're also going to need something to form our body for our gnome. I happen to have an old plastic sand container with just enough sand in the bottom. This is going to help my gnome stand upright. So you can use something like this. You could use a pop bottle. I've seen where they take the lid and put it at the bottom of the sock and then fill it with things like popcorn kernels or beads or seeds, uh, pinto beans, things like that, just to give it a good shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my glue gun plugged in. Oh, and I almost forgot. We will need fur or yarn to make the hair in the fur for our gnome beard. And I also have a black pom-pom for our gnome nose. Oh, I dropped my pom-pom. That happens. So sorry about that. So once again, glue gun, something for our body and some weight to hold it down. The gnome beard, the bat gnome body, which is just a sock, our bat wings and ears, and our hats, which you can make your hat too out of foam or any type of fabric that you've got laying around. Because we do have our hot glue gun, we can use that. Now, this was the only pair of socks I could find, and this is a long one. You can see this is pretty long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put this in. And it doesn't matter which side on this. I've got this taped up so the lid won't come off. And I just want to pull that all the way down to the bottom. Now, what I'm going to do, because my sock is so long and if I don't want to cut it, I can twist it and then going from the top, opening it up and pulling it back down. And then I can just pull that up a little bit. And this little bit of leftover can help fill up my hat. So I've got that pulled down. And this is my body. It almost looks like a bottle. Like here's the neck and here's the body. Which is fine. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I have my hat. Now, I also have some polyfill fiber. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and stuff it into my hat because I want my hat to stand up really straight. And I may not have enough fabric to do that from the sock. So I'm just going to put this toward the tip and put that in there. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to do this. This is just me. So I can see where I want my hat. I see that there. I've got my hat. So what I'm going to do, you see that's up in there. I know it's dark, it's black. So I'm going to go around right around the top of the ring of the neck of the sock. And I'm going to glue that on. Now remember, when we're using hot glue, We want to be very careful because that heat can come through that fabric. And it still smarts, although it may not bluster, it still has some heat to it and may hurt. So I'm going to press that down on that side. Then I'm going to go around the back. And while I have my glue gun resting, I have a piece of wax paper. That way the drips get caught on that. If you want to use something like a piece of paper or cardboard, just something that we don't get hot glue anywhere to where we don't burn any surfaces. So I'm pressing this down on this side. So now you want to decide which way is forward. I think I'm going to put my little jewel in the front forward. So spiffy witch hat. So I'm going to take my ears. These are my bat ears. And you see the shape. If you want to make this out of polyfoam, you can. It's super easy to do. You just need scissors and some glue. So if you want to make it two-tone, you see it's a little thick. That's two different types of material. So I'm going to go on one side, and I think I'm going to do it upward like that. So I'm going to do a nice straight line of glue. I'm going slow, as you can see. Now don't put too much, though. You don't want it dripping off the side. And then we're just going to hold our ear, just like I'm doing. We're going to hold that for just a little bit till that dries. Well, not completely dry. We'd be here for a few minutes. But dry enough that it's not going to fall apart or fall off. Look at my bat ear. So we're going to put our other bat ear on the other side. So I'm going to move that up. I'm going to put that line of glue. Just a nice line of glue. You can see that nice line of glue. And I'm going to put that right there. From this angle, it looks like horns, but I swear they're bat ears. Look at our bat ears. But how can we have a bat without wings? Well, before we put our wings on, I thought that we could attach our nose to our beard. Now, the way you want to measure this, I did about a little bit about the width of my hand and about as long or a little bit longer than my bottle. And I'm going to glue this all the way up to the main top. So I'm going to flip that up a little bit. And I'm going to put my glue right here. And I'm just going to do a little zigzag. And I'm going to carefully, because I want this to be nice and even, go to the front here. Oop, my pom-pom's getting stuck. I got that all the way to the top. Because you never see these gnomes' eyes. So we have that. Now, we have that to the front. We're going to make a spot. We're going to find a spot probably about there for our gnome nose. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my fingers and I'm going to part through, kind of like you're parting your hair. And I'm going to find a spot. And I think that right there. And luckily, this has got some dark roots. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a drop of glue. Not too huge. Mine's running a little bit. I put a little too much glue. And I'm going to do a little black pom-pom nose. And if this is where this is bad, if you wanted to put some white paper, like some foam paper, and make like little fangs, little back fangs, you could do that too. So we've got that on there. Now we can place our wings on either side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and just right around where I've got the ears at. That's where I'm going to make a nice line of glue. Remember, we don't want to do too much glue. You can see we don't want it to be runny. I know that's kind of hard to see where it's black. But we've got this, and we're going to hold that there and let that glue. There we go. Let that glue dry just a little bit. Just not so it's tacky and that it stays on there. And this is one of those crafts that you can do this all through the seasons. You can make bunny gnomes, you can make Santa gnomes, elf gnomes, all kinds of fun gnomes. You can make a turkey gnome. Oop, see, that's the reason we hold it for a second. Mine came off. This is also one of those crafts that are it's reasonably priced. It's pretty inexpensive to make. You can make it expensive as you want or the least expensive as you want. And there we have such a majestic batty gnome. Squeak squeak. And the sand in there is going to help it stay upright with the nice base at the bottom. So we have our gnome. Now remember, when we're using a hot glue gun, we want to use it with adult supervision and we want to be extra safe. So now that I'm done with my glue gun, I'm going to unplug it. And we're going to set this on our wax paper and let it dry. And this is something fun to put out at Halloween during the month of October, or if you're just a big bat fan. Miss Jessie's a big bat fan, if you can't tell. And I hope that you guys enjoyed making this batty gnome. I'm just batty about it. Have a fabulous, spooky, scary Saturday. Bye, everybody.